Hello, it is Tracy Jackson, also known as the Spiritual Cheerleader, coming to you with your cards of the week this week. I actually wanted to pull from, it's an older deck. It's probably newer use to me, even though I used it a long time ago and haven't used it in a while, but it's the Ascended Masters deck by Doreen Virtue. And I know there are some people who know that Doreen has now switched paths, but I felt very called to use this deck because I know a lot of people have questions regarding her decks and whether or not they are still powerful. And I think that the intention that was set and created when she created this deck remains with this deck. And so I do think it's very powerful and still works and still gives amazing messages. And I think to prove that today, I felt called to use it. So I actually picked 3 cards from this deck because of that. I just, the messages in this card, typically, I always feel very called to pull multiple messages from this deck, just because a lot of times they hit pretty hard, they pack a punch, but usually to kind of get a sense of everything, it's helpful to pull 3 cards around it. So our first card is Meditate with the Buddha. Our second card is Stay Focused with Kuthumi. And our third card is Fertility with Pan. And I literally feel like these cards are telling us a story. Number one, it's telling us to meditate, to be still, to get quiet, listen in, to really hear that voice that's within us. So many of us, many times we're trying to move from point A to point B, and we're trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B instead of sitting still and listening for that guidance. We try to figure out how to do it on our own. And I really feel that this card from the Buddha is really asking us to go within and stop trying to figure everything out, surrendering it to our higher power, meditating on it, asking for guidance, such that we can then stay focused with our Ascended Master Kuthumi, focusing on those intentions and the desires that we have and the desires that we want to manifest in our lives. And that then leads to this fertility. And the fertility is really speaking to the fact that these intentions and desires, when we meditate, when we seek that guidance and stay focused on the intentions and desires that we're trying to call forth, we literally are fertilizing our intentions and desires such that they end up manifesting for us. It's one of those things where so often we're trying to bypass doing the work to get to where it is that we want to go. And when I say the work, I'm not saying that it's truly work, but a lot of us don't want to take that time to be still. We don't want to meditate. We forego it. We say we don't have time for it or whatever, and then we wonder why we're frantic or why we're feeling anxious or why we're not feeling the peace that we desire. And many times it's because of this fact, because we don't take that time to get still, to ask for guidance, to literally focus our attention on what it is that we're wanting to call forth. And then that leads us not to, experience those manifested intentions or desires. So at this point, I really feel like the cards messages are telling us to get still, to go within, to experience that part of us that many times we might run from, because in that we can get to the true heart of what our true intentions and desires are, and we can also get the guidance that we need such that those intentions and desires are being planted into fertile soil rather than just falling on, cracked ground. All right, so I hope that helps you guys this week. I hope that even the message that I brought before that regarding these cards and their power also touched some of you, especially those of you that might have put away your decks by this particular author for a while. I know, I took some time away from them, but I never felt like they lost their power. It's just I was called to use other decks, and I really, because of the fact that I'm recording this around 333, felt like the Ascended Masters wanted to be heard from, and that's why I felt called to use this deck today. So I hope that you enjoyed this talk. If you did, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see if these messages resonated with you. Feel free to leave a comment, either if you're watching this video on my Instagram TV or on my YouTube page. I would love to hear from you. And I hope you have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.